Hello, and welcome to Math Vision, where you learn math in a simple and easy way. In this lesson, we are going to be learning about how to order fractions. Let's get right into it. Now, fractions can be ordered into ascending order or descending order. That is, from the smallest to the largest or from the largest to the smallest. Ordering fractions means arranging them according to their values. Fractions can be ordered from the smallest to the largest, which is ascending order, or from the largest to the smallest, which is in descending order. Just like arranging students according to height, we are arranging fractions according to their sizes. Alright, let's look at this fraction. So for question 1, we have this 2 over 9, 5 over 9, 7 over 9, 4 over 9. The first thing you will notice is that all these four fractions, they have the same denominator, which is 9. Very good place to start. Now, you ask yourself, are we arranging from in ascending order or in descending order? Now, remember that ascending order is just from the smallest to the largest. So if you're arranging in ascending order, you are starting from the smallest fraction down to the largest fraction. Now, I put this rule here for a reason, for a purpose. If you have the same denominator, the greater the numerator, the greater the fraction. You need to take note of this. Once you have the same denominator all through, the greater the denominator, the greater the fraction. So make sure not to forget, keep that in mind. So let's just think about it. If you have a whole pizza that was divided into 9 pieces, the person that gets 7 pieces out of the pizza gets the highest, right? And the person that gets 2 gets the lowest. So it's still the same analogy. So whenever you're arranging, this says here, the greater the numerator, the greater the fraction. That's what we're going to impose. Since it's in ascending order, the smallest numerator is going to be the smallest fraction. So that's what we're going to do. Now, we are focusing on the numerator, right? We're focusing on the numerator. So the smallest numerator here is 2. So we have here 2 over 9. And then what's the next small one? That's 4. So it's 4 over 9. The next will be 5 over 9. And then the last one will be 7 all over 9. So just think of this as part of a rule. And remember the rule. When you have the same denominator, the greater the numerator, the greater the fraction is going to be. Alright, so before we go to the next case, let's quickly work on this. You have 1 over 8, 7 over 8, 3 over 8, 5 over 8. Now feel free to pause the video. It has the same as this. Try it out. Alright, so as we have already said before, when you have same denominator, the greater the numerator, the greater the fraction. It's as easy as that. So what's the smallest number for the numerator here? That's 1. So you have 1 over 8. And remember, we are even ordering in ascending order. So if you're ordering in descending order, you are going to pick the highest to the lowest. But since in ascending order, we are going from the lowest to the highest. So 1 over 8. The next will be what? 3 over 8. The next is 5 over 8. And the last will be 7 over 8. So if you got that, let me know in the comment section. Alright, on case 2 now we have this question. 3 over 4, 3 over 5, and 3 over 8. Now one thing you will notice first of all is that all the numerators are the same. The last question we did, we were dealing with all the same denominators, right? But for here, we are dealing with all the numerator being the same. What are we going to do? You come over here. The rule says when you have the same numerator, the greater the denominator, the smaller the fraction. So when you are dealing with all the same numerator, the greater the denominator, the smaller the fraction. You have to take note of that. Alright, so let's work on that. According to this, the denominator that is the biggest is the smallest of the fractions. So now, in ascending order, we have this 3 over 8, because that's the greatest denominator, right? We have 3 over 5, and we have 3 over 4. This is in ascending order, this is what you have. Because remember, it says the greater the denominator, the smaller the fraction. Out of all these denominators, 8 is the greatest. 8 is the biggest number. Then followed by 5, and then 4. Now, if you are arranging in descending order, you would have something like this. For descending order, you would have what? You are going for. Now, if you are doing it in descending order, you would have, for descending order, you are going from the largest to the smallest, right? You are descending. So remember, descending order is largest to the smallest, while ascending order is from smallest to largest. We will have this as our answer: 3 over 4, 3 over 5, 3 all over 8. These are, you'll be able to arrange it in descending order. So whenever you are dealing with all numerator, you take note of this. This can be a little confusing, but at the end of the day, if you follow this rule, you'll be able to get it perfectly. All right, for this question, you will still notice the same thing as we did in the previous question. Both the numerator and the denominator, it is not the same at all. So what are we going to do? We already know what to do. The first thing we are going to do is to find the common denominator. All right. So the first thing we are going to do is to look for the common denominator. Now, if you look at these fractions very well, you will notice that your lowest common multiple or your common denominator is going to be 8. So I'm just going to take this as equal to 8. Now you are going to do equivalent fractions for it. You are going to make sure both the numerator and the denominator is multiplied by a particular number, whereby the denominator will be giving you 8, because we want us to have the same denominator, so we can use this rule. So this one is already there, 5 over 8. You don't need to make that into equivalence form. Now for 1 all over 2, what number will you multiply the numerator and the denominator by that will make your denominator 8? You can have 1 all over 2 times, 4. So you're multiplying this by 4. That will be 4 over 8. And then for the next one, 1 over 4. The equivalent fraction will be what? Which is 2 all over 8. And the last one, we have 3 over 4. What number will you multiply? 2 again. So that's times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. All over 4 times 2 is 8. So you have all this. You can rearrange it like this. That will be 5 over 8, 4 over 8, 2 over 8, and 6 all over 8. We have rewritten this in equivalent form. Now we'll use the same rule. The greater the numerator, the greater the fraction. This has the greatest numerator, the biggest numerator there. So this is the biggest fraction over here. And this is the smallest fraction because it has the smallest number there for numerator. So you have, in ascending order, you have 2 all over 8. You have, 4 is next. So you have 4 all over 8. You have 5 all over 8. And you have 6 all over 8. But you can't leave your answer in this form. It is not acceptable to leave your answer in this form. You have to leave your answer in the form where the question was given. So if you're arranging this in ascending order, according to this form, your 2 over 8 is what? The equivalent of what? What's your 2 over 8 the equivalent of? Your 2 over 8 is the equivalent of 1 all over 4. So 1 all over 4. What next? 4 over 8. So what's the equivalent of the 4 over 8? That's 1 all over 2. What's next? 5 over 8. What gave us the equivalent of 5 over 8? It's still 5 over 8 from the question. So we didn't change 5 over 8. And then 6 over 8. What gave us this equivalent of 6 over 8? That's 3 over 4. This is how you leave your answer. So in ascending order, this is the smallest, then this, and then this. And that's how you are able to find your answer for this kind of question. All right, so let's quickly recap. When you have the same denominator, the greater the numerator, the greater the fraction. For the same numerator, the greater the denominator, the smaller the fraction. And whenever you have questions with different fractions and nothing common, you have to convert first to equivalent fraction, and then you use either the rule for numerator and for denominator. So if you are able to understand and learn these rules that I've given, you are able to master ordering fractions very well. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe.